In today's video, I'm going to show you a great haul of back issues that I picked up at a comic book garage sale for just $1 a piece. Check it out. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name's Chris, and this is Northgarden Comics. I've got a nice stack of books to show you today. I've been really excited to share these books with you because I remember getting home from this garage sale being really pumped up. You know that feeling you get after you've just scored some really fun books at a really great price? And I had to film a haul, but it was a different haul. So it was like taking that excitement and channeling it into a different haul. But now is the day where I finally get to show you the books that I was excited about that I mentioned, a couple videos ago. These books come from a comic book garage sale, which is a thing that happens around here occasionally. And it's usually people that are either comic book vendors at shows and things locally, or they're individuals who have purchased usually collections and they're trying to move a bulk of inventory in a quick way. And a comic book garage sale is definitely a good way to move bulk and to move it fast and to move it cheap and make a lot of people really happy. And I saw pictures from this particular garage sale. I was not able to get there right at the beginning. It was like a Saturday morning, and there was a lineup outside this guy's garage, and it was literally in his garage. He opened up a two-car garage door and had a big U shape of folding tables loaded with long boxes of comic books. There were probably a dozen or more boxes on the floor as well under those tables, and then even some that wound up just in the middle of the garage. But the way it was advertised was $1 a piece, any book. He didn't feel like going through and pricing individually all the books in the collections, so he just wanted to move the bulk. And I'm sure he moved quite a bit because, like I said, there was a lineup before he even started. I got there a couple hours in, saw some familiar faces, and people getting really nice stacks of books. It's the kind of time where, on the one hand, you're excited, but there's a part of you that can tend to start to look over your shoulder one way or the other and wonder, are they getting books ahead of me that I wanted to get? And honestly, I've learned you gotta just block those kinds of thoughts out and just focus on the box that's in front of you, find what you can find, know that you're gonna find some good things, and yeah, everybody else is gonna find some good things too. And chances are that someone's gonna find something better than you, but that's okay, because it's just about finding the fun things that are there for you. And there will always be another sale down the road where maybe you'll have another chance at getting that book that you missed out today. But I am very happy with the books that I came home with. And so let's go ahead and get to the haul that I brought home from this comic book garage sale. I'm not gonna do these in any particular order. I have two bags that I came home with of books. It's just because it's what he had, and it's the stack had to be divided into two bags. It wouldn't all fit in one. So we're just gonna go in no particular order. Just gonna take the books from one and we'll go through these. First up, and these were actually some of the last books that I picked out. These come from Captain America Volume 3, so after Heroes Reborn. This is Heroes Return, and the creative team was Mark Waid and Ron Garney to start. At this point, 28, the creative team had shifted, so Dan Jurgens was on writing, and Andy Kubert was doing the pencils. I really like Andy Kubert's art, and so I'm going to continue to try to get some of these, and I made a little bit of a dent in this run. And I don't know what these bags are made of, but they're kind of thick. They're really shiny. They feel a little bit better than polypropylene, but they're not Mylar. Not sure what they are. Maybe they're like OPP bags. Anyway, there's issue 28, 29, 30, 31, and I think this marks the end of the Jurgens Kubert run, and then pencil duties change. This next one is done by Jerry Ordway. I don't know if he was just a guest penciler on this or if he was taking over for the balance of the run. I got this because it is an Andy Kubert cover, and it's just a really cool cover to boot. So You got a nice, cool kind of World War II reference-y title cover there. The Jeep, I think it's a great cover. So definitely wanted to get that one. Again, $1 piece for everything you're gonna see here today. Happy to make that little bit of progress on that Captain America run. Here's a single issue from a title I picked up. I just grab these whenever I find them because they're kind of cool looking reprints. This is the Mighty Thor starring in Marvel Spectacular, issue number 9. These reprint early Thor comics. Usually, I'm guessing most or all of them are Kirby art. This issue reprints, I can't even tell. It says originally presented in Thor, might be 138, 136, 135. I'm failing the eye test there, but it's down there for you. Someone who can see better than I can look that up. But just a fun reprint title featuring some of the early adventures of Thor. Continuing with Thor, I found several early issues of Thor, and by early, I guess I mean early for me. Early meaning before the Walt Simonson run. That's the era of Volume 1 that I'm focusing on, and I'm close, but there are some pretty big keys in that run, and those are really the ones I'm missing, so we'll have to see if I ever actually get those or not. But that being said, I like the earlier stuff too. It's just fun Bronze Age issues of a character that I really enjoy. And Walt Simonson, interestingly, did an earlier run on this title, but it's not part of his iconic run. But anyway, all that to say, I found some earlier issues of Thor. So these are all from like the mid to late 200s and even some low 300s, I think. We've got issue 261. And some of these are minor keys for one reason or another. I don't recall. 273. Mostly I got them because they're older Thors, and they were in good shape, and you know, those kind of things. 273 or 274. This one I think is a minor key. It's like the death of Balder. That's fun to get that one. Or did I say this before? Or I got them because I like the covers. Like this one here, 287. I thought that was a really cool looking cover there. And then I'm guessing the story continues here. Here's issue 288. Hard to say bad things about a Thor cover featuring a flame-breathing dragon. So there you go, 298. Yeah. And then this one's a key for some reason, some connection to the Celestials or something. Here's 301, but not my primary reason for getting it. So that's actually it for the Thors. We're gonna jump around now. This is from Avengers Volume 1. I am not working on any particular run of that title, but I am trying to get all of these Marvel 25th anniversary covers, and he had one there at the sale, issue number 273, so happy to have found that. This next one here may someday again be or still be considered a minor key. This is from Fantastic Four Volume 1. This is issue 352, bagless, boardless, but I think this is like some early appearance to the TVA or reference to the TVA, which made this book and others like it hot when the first season of Loki came out on Disney+. I got this more so for the Walt Simonson art. He did the pencils and he wrote it at this point. So this is part of a short run that he did on Fantastic Four, or one of his little runs that he did on that title. So I'm trying to get those together. Next up here, I've got a fun 80s book, G.I. Joe. Not a title I have a ton of issues for, but I like to pick these up when I find them. Usually they're beat up or they're more expensive, so when you can find them in good shape and for just $1, that's just good nostalgic fun for me, because this was a cartoon I watched a lot when I was a kid, back the same time that Transformers was on and things like that. But this is issue 50, and that, I believe, is a Mike Zeck cover, so that's pretty cool. Next up, we've got an Iron Man key. It is a key, I don't know why I did the air quotes. This is 284. I think this is the first time that Rhodey puts on the War Machine armor. Doesn't get called War Machine, but I think it's the first time he wears it. So it's a minor key for that reason, and just a fun thing to be able to find for $1. Here was a book. There's no key significance at all, but I like the cover. It's a John Byrne cover. This is Marvel Age number 30. I've mentioned this on many times. I've mentioned this title many times in the past, saying that it's a run I'm trying to put together to some extent, not every single issue, but if there's either a cover that I like or an article inside that's connected to something that I like, I want to get those. And so that's a lot of the run. There's a cool Rogue picture there. But yeah, fun to find issue number 30. And a cool, again, John Byrne cover there on that one. Fun pickup. And then one issue from a title I honestly thought I might find more of, but I didn't. I only found this one issue. This is X-Men Legacy, number 212. I've mentioned this title on multiple occasions as well. This is the continuation of what was X-Men Volume 1, so adjectiveless X-Men. Is that truly adjectiveless though? Because isn't the X the adjective in there? But you know what I mean. X-Men 1991, Jim Lee, ran 207 issues. After that finished, 208, the numbering continued, but it was called X-Men Legacy. And I am working on this title now as well. This is one of the lowest issues that I was missing, and the one that he had, so I was happy to get that one. All right, so that's bag 1 of 2. Now we go to bag number 2 here for the remainder of books from this sale. And at a sale like this, there were more books I could have purchased, but I only had so much cash in my wallet, and that was the cap of how much I was going to buy. And it's nice in a sense to have those caps as well, because a lot of these books, I mean, I get them for $1 and I think that's a great price, but I see them time and again in dollar sales. And so there is a part of me that wants to pace myself and not just try to get everything all at once. It's, you know, enjoy the things that you got. And yeah, so I'm happy when I have to actually make some decisions and then prioritize, because then it makes you realize which books do you really want as opposed to the books that you're just getting because it's there. So it's fun when you have those kind of constraints, because then it pressure tests your enjoyment level or what you really want. Here's a book that I got for my wife. She and I are both big Star Trek fans of the TV shows, movies, and things. But she has recently started collecting Star Trek comic books. And one of the titles she's working on is this first Marvel title. And this is issue 8, the only issue he had, and the next issue in succession that Nicole needed in her run. I think this volume only ran like 18 issues or something like that. Started out with the adaptation of the original movie, and then I don't know where the story goes from there, but this was the next issue she needed for that, so happy to have found her a comic book at the sale. Then I made some progress on a couple limited series. Actually, I should say I completed a couple limited series as a result of this sale with 2 really great looking issues. First is issue number 4 of 4 from this limited series featuring Magic. And that's the coolest cover. I wasn't sure how easy or hard that would be to find, but very happy when I found this in his dollar bins at this sale. And it's in really nice shape too. So very happy to have found it and now completed that limited series. And then in a similar way, completed another X-Men 4-part limited series. This time though with issue number 1 from the Nightcrawler first limited series featuring this character. He's had a few different limited series over the years, but this was the first one, and so happy now to have found his issue number 1 and completed that limited series. I picked up one Amalgam issue. It's a run, for those of you who don't know, it's an amalgamation of Marvel character and a DC character that they squished together into one new character, and I think Marvel published half of those books and DC published the other half of those books, but it was a 90s collaboration between Marvel and DC, and there's some characters that are cooler than others, and those are the ones that I'm going for, either because I like the character or the creative team or just the, yeah, cool cover art, something like that. This is one of the more famous Amalgam characters, although he has one other issue that is probably the most famous cover. Don't have that one yet, but this is Dark Claw. So this is, if it's not clear, a mashup of Batman and Wolverine. So happy to have found that one. Again, not looking for all of the Amalgam issues, but this is one of the characters that I wanted to get his issue for. And there's another Dark Claw. I don't think it's a variant. I think it either came before or after this one, but it has a cover that kind of is an homage to Batman the Animated Series, which is probably one of the most famous Batman TV shows of all time, or cartoons at least. So happy though to have found this Amalgam issue. This next one is a fun one. Here's Marvel Fanfare number 45. Yeah, number 45. Not trying to get this whole volume. I think it went for like 60 issues, but there's a handful that I have on my wish list, and this was one of them. First, I'll show you the cover, which is a wraparound cover here. But issue 45 is, you can see it from the corner box there, is the all pinup issue. And so on every page, you get a full page splash of a team or an individual character. And you've got artists in here, some I don't know, Christy Scheel, Gregory Wright, Brett Blevins, Elaine Lee, Steve Oliff, Sandy Plunkett, Petra Scotese, and others there. So just a fun issue, which is just all pinups. I know a lot of the Marvel Fanfare issues had one or more pinups in the back of them, but it's cool when you can get a, that's a cool, that was I think I had this poster in college. That's very cool. But, so fun pinup issue. Cool Colossus there. So, I won't show you every page, but that was a fun find. Is that John Byrne cover? Who does, whoa. Maybe? I can't tell you. If you know who did the cover on that, let us know. There's the signature there in the bottom. That's quite a mess. Sorry, let's see if it tells us on here who did the cover. Maybe not. I don't know. If you know, let us know down below. Marvel Fanfare number 45. This next set of books was a really fun score. I mentioned before that X-Men Legacy was one of the titles I was hoping to find and make some progress on at the sale. Only found the one issue. The other title, even more significantly, I was hoping to find issues for. I was successful, and I even went so far as to complete the run, the original run that I'm working on, not the whole volume. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but the series I'm talking about is Classic X-Men. I've mentioned this on multiple occasions. This is a reprint title, ran for like, what, 110 issues, but the first like 46 or so reprint just about everything from Giant Size X-Men #1, that was reprinted in issue 1 of this title, and then goes all the way through issue 46, wraps up just before Days of Future Past. And there are a couple exceptions of issues that were not reprinted, but mostly everything was reprinted, and each issue features a backup story that focuses on a character or gives more depth or backstory to what was going on with the X-Men at the time, and those stories count in continuity. So it's kind of nice to have not only the reprint, but then the backup story as well. But I got every issue that I was still missing to complete that run up to issue 46, which included issue 14, 17, 18, which is still covers by Art Adams at this point, 19, still Art Adams, 23, another Art Adams cover. And then this is issue 25. It is not, so he must have done up to 23 or 24 somewhere in there. And then here's 26, 29, and these titles, or these issues of this title, reprint some of the most famous X-Men stories of all time. So very happy now to have completed this portion of that run, because my from a Uncanny X-Men title perspective, my print collection starts with issue 143. So this helps lead right into the print collection I have for all those first print or original, not reprint issues. Here's 38 and then 39. Interesting thing about these two issues, issue 38 here features one of the more famous images of Wolverine. If I can flip to it here, I think this reprints like Uncanny X-Men 132, something like that. But this issue here, where they're in the Hellfire Club and Wolverine winds up in like the sewer area there. And that image is just very, very famous for him. But then I mistakenly thought it would be this issue here, 39, but I'm going to show you this one anyway, because it starts out with a really cool Wolverine picture. This is like the splash page starting the next issue of, like, I guess it's 133. But what I didn't know until I opened this up looking for that original image is that the backup story here is done by Jim Lee. So this is 1989. I don't know. I'm guessing, yeah, he was doing the pencils on Uncanny at this point, wasn't he? Somewhere in there. But cool to have a backup story featuring Jim Lee's art in this. So really happy to have found that one as well. All right, let's keep things going. Just a few more books to go here. This was a fun find. Another reprint issue, but from a different title altogether. This is Marvel Tales, issue 209, reprinting Amazing Spider-Man 129, the first appearance of the Punisher. Now, I think this particular reprint got done twice in Marvel Tales. This is the second of those reprints, but still, to find it for just $1, really, really happy to have found that. And then this was an issue, I was on the fence about whether or not to get it. I have 4 of the 5 parts of this particular limited series. Got them just because they were fun and different and I had never seen them before. But then you ask yourself the question, will I like the story? Do I really want to complete it? Do I care all that much? And he had 1 issue from this limited series, and it was the issue that I needed. And so because I'm giving you this lead up, you'll know that I did in fact decide to buy it, but it was a decision. I had to I hemmed and hawed about it for a little bit. This is X-Men Ronin, 1 of 5 with Wolverine on the cover. It's kind of this manga anime kind of a style to it here. But now I have all 5 issues. I don't know how good it is. You never hear people talking about this, but it's just kind of just different enough to be fun and for me make it collectible since I love the X-Men so much. So happy to have scored that and completed that limited series. So glad I made that decision. Then I did make some more progress on my Dazzler volume that I'm working on. You can find most of those books pretty cheap. So I hold out till I can find copies that are in good shape. And I found a few at his sale. He had issue 22, 26, and 31. So very close now on completing this run. I don't remember exactly how many issues I have left. And then just 2 more books to show you. This one is from Daredevil. I'm working on, in volume 1, I'm working on the Andocenti run, and he had issue 269. I think I need less than 5 more issues now to complete that portion of volume 1. So we'll get there, but it's taken a long time to finally get there. I look for these every opportunity I get, and he had 1 issue there. So happy to have found that. And then the last book I'll show you is nothing spectacular, right? It's not like it's a hugely valuable book or anything, but it is a reminder to me that as you learn about comic books and as you add books to your wish list, you might think, well, that's a real oddity. I'm never gonna, like, what are the odds that I'll ever find that book in the wild? And you'd be surprised how many times it happens where I add something to my wish list and then it's really not that long in the future that I come across it. Just I happen to stumble across it in the wild. And this is one such example. I don't even remember how I found this to begin with. It may have been looking at like Wikipedia or something for the Walt Simonson credits on Fantastic Four and otherwise, and came across a cover that he did for a series and thought, I'm not going to go for that series, but I like Walt Simonson's art, and so I'm going to look for that one particular issue. And he may have had one or two other issues from this run, but he had the one that I wanted, and that is Death's Head #9. Just a really cool cover done by Walter Simonson featuring the Thing from the Fantastic Four. And I love how Death's Head is even saying, it's clobbering time, yes? So thought that was super, super cool. So, you know, if you wonder, should I put that book on my wish list? Should I keep an eye out for it? Absolutely, the answer is yes, because you just never know. Now, again, not talking about a valuable book here, right? But it is one of those kind of, not so much weird books, but it's not like it's a run filler in the middle of John Byrne's Fantastic Four or something like that I'm adding. It's something a little more obscure than that. And I got really lucky, and this guy had a copy of it at his garage sale. So super happy to have scored that book, and super happy with all of the books that I came home with from this comic book garage sale. All right, that's gonna do it for me, and that's gonna wrap up this dollar book haul from a comic book garage sale, one of the best ones of the summer so far for sure. Are you local? And if so, were you in attendance at this garage sale? If so, let us know the cool things that you picked up during your own time diving through those long boxes. And if you're not local and you have no idea where this garage sale is or was or anything about it, that's okay. What kinds of things are you finding in your own adventures recently? Let us know down below. Now, if you're not quite ready for the YouTube fun to stop, I have hand-selected a couple videos here for you to check out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.